The PoostKurd.
Okay, what's up, Marshmallows, Talkinators, whatever you want to call yourself, and welcome back to the PoostKurd podcast. And with me today, I have the good old Spoosman 64 over here. Say hello, Spoosman.
Spaceman C0.
Right, tomato. Okay, we're going to be talking about some interesting things today. We got 3 topics, just like the last podcast. If you didn't tune in, if you're on Discord, just scroll up a couple times, and if you're if you're on YouTube, then go ahead and go back about one video. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with this. So the first subject that I kind of wanted to talk about, primarily specifically, this kind of thing that I saw on Equestria Daily here, and I saw it and I was like, it was the first thing that pops up, and if you happen to see it, then there you go, but if not, then that's okay. But it was how these people from all these, I guess some of them are vocalists, some of them clearly aren't, but they all kind of came together and they kind of sung the song to, what was it, the Friendship Grows thing? And it was quite interesting because from the outside looking in, it just seems like it was like a spontaneous bit of passion. But all I could say is for this, since this is a simple kind of thing, I just noticed this, and apparently there's over 44 people who decided to sing along. I find it good, and the song is good if you haven't heard it. I can't get it out of my head. I haven't been able to get it out of my head since like 2019, so it's kind of hard to get it out of your head. Yeah, it's really bad. But it's a good song, and a lot of people still are hating on the fandom, but I'm just like, every fandom has bad suits, but for this, I thought this was a good passion project, and more passion projects should be done like this with any fandom. So that's kind of my two-piece. Why don't you give us your two-piece, your thoughts on something like this, where people are coming together to create a unique, what is this vocal cover or something like that. I found it very, very interesting. What are your thoughts on like people collaborating and such?
Collaboration with far as a vocal standpoint, singing in, I want to say, harmony. That's something that strikes me as unique, very unique.
Unique. Go on.
I wouldn't have thought of that, but as I said earlier, I just said wow, and
you have few thoughts on this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. It's just like I do a lot of volunteer work personally, but to go to do something like singing, I'm not much. I do sing, but it's like mainly in the shower. Yeah,
wait a minute. What? You're in the shower?
Yeah, singing in the shower. You don't do that? Come on.
No, I don't. Water gets in my mouth. Anyway, I got your 2 cents. I got your 2 cents on the subject matter. Welcome, yeah. Peanut. Anyway, Peanut, would you like to join in on the next subject?
No.
Oh, okay. Wow. Anyway, since there's more than one person now, I'm going to give you guys a minute to kind of go over your thoughts. And this next bit, which kind of concerns me, is kind of the future of SFM in as far as creating animations. And it doesn't even have to be related to MLP, but I just noticed that the market is being dominated by a select few, and I want to be one of those people, but it just takes so much out of you to produce one of those animations. For me, I just find it kind of frustrating that my brain can't put the time in to focus, and I can't be motivated to focus, and I think it's just on me to take my time with it. But since I don't know everything about SFM, I can see how it's doing that, and how everyone's moving on to like different programs. Like like the whole program isn't dying as far as the community, but it's definitely spreading out. Because I came in with MMD, and now people are coming in with I don't know. Some of them just transfer to other places. It's like how everyone from Gmod is moving on to VR chat or something like that. It's kind of one of those scenarios. Like you can still backbone on certain things, like Blender to SFM. Like you can backbone on it, but it's like it's weird. It's weird for me. I just see like I'm unsure of what the market will be. But since you are next, Spoosman or Spider-Man, why don't you give us your thoughts on how you feel, or maybe it's more the facts on what you've observed as far as the SFM community is concerned, or if you're that engaged into it.
All right, Glizzy. This is my thought on it.
Okay.
It's kind of weird that you bring that up, because I was thinking about this when I got up. It was just like I was browsing through the top games. For the longest, Gary's mod has been like up there in the top 3, and it's not even in the top 10 anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of fallen down from the top selling. For the longest time, it used to be top 3, top 10. Now it's like 16, I believe. But people do still play Gary's mod. There's no doubt about it. There is a lot of modding community going out there and just
Producing stuff.
yeah, producing stuff.
I'm guessing you're
Like,
relaying that to the SFM stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're
Not to mention, I guess some animators that have experience with Flash.
yeah.
That's dead.
It's actually not technically dead. It's just not receiving support anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, shush. Okay, so you said I guess you said everything.
And I believe the people who would once animate with Flash would probably find themselves working with Source Filmmaker.
Interesting.
Because, gotta be honest, I could definitely see that. I could definitely see Flash animators going over to Source Filmmaker. A while back ago, someone told me it's really, really similar to how it functions. But this was back in 2017, I believe.
Oh, that's not too far.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's been working with Source Filmmaker ever since.
All right. Well, and I like your thoughts on that.
Yeah. He went from Flash to Source Filmmaker once he found out that Flash was gonna yeet.
I'm glad you gave me your feedback. Yeah. That's interesting stuff. But now don't want to waste time. I know you want to give more information, but you can't. You can't. Now there's more than one person now. P-Dot, won't you give us your thoughts on SFM and the market itself? How things have changed, not only in the MLP fandom, but just with animation with SFM in general.
Sorry, I was counting.
Okay. Are you typing it? No one can see you type.
Yeah.
It's a podcast.
I just wanted to put something in voice chat.
Oh, Gary's mod is pound 33.
Number 33.
On the Steam popularity. Okay. Well, yeah, that's I guess that's normal. That doesn't really explain the whole scenario, but I guess that's...
That was more relating to the popularity of Gary's mod when you guys were talking about that.
Oh, you dork. Okay, did you say everything you wanted? Okay, I guess you said everything you wanted. That's straight up. Pretty much... You're hearing that grudge over there? Yeah, that's...
No thoughts, brain empty.
Okay, that is it. Okay, so now that we've done the 2 easy subjects, we're going to go into the harder one. Some people consider it controversial. But I consider it just like a good talking point. Just kind of like, really? But it makes you go really, because how people, at least while they're online, act. But in this scenario, just as a reminder, when one person's speaking, you give them that time to speak. Opinions, they're great, but that doesn't make them facts. Now the rules are they cannot be fictitious scenarios when you're discussing it. Only actual scenarios. So based on facts, statistics, or what you have experienced yourself. That is the only way that you can respond to a specific situation. But while this was all happening, I pulled up this and I was like, okay, this is very interesting. It just reminds me that my presence online is, I don't really want it on there anymore. that's kind of the thing. But the subject we're going to talk about, and I'll just go first, so it's just easier. We're going to talk about, I'm not going to reveal names or anything, but if you are in the loop with social media, which unfortunately I am, there was this streamer who, if you watch the video on it, was making fun of this other female who had cancer, and it was very interesting. She was just like, all of you should go die. All of you, you're such a loser. Why do you have cancer? You're just, it's like an insult. Of course, some context to this, that woman was, obviously they had a lot of money. They were, a trust fund kid or whatever. The scenario went about that she was insulting them, and she said, that lady said that, hey, it doesn't matter what you do, I'm not going to get canceled. And I think it was like a day or two later, she started streaming again, and then her father called. They managed to get her father fired from his job. He promptly kicked her out of his home, so he lost his job based off of something she said online on her own behalf. And then they try to go after the mother, they try to go after the siblings, they try to go after everyone else, because they just like, you know what, if you're like this, then that means everyone else is like this. I guess my thoughts on this is, everyone's just like, oh, you need an apology. And she did do an apology video, but she said in the beginning that I'm not going to officially apologize, but if this is what you guys want, I'll just say it as whatever. It was just the most ironic thing. It's not even fake, which is interesting. So it's just the most ironic thing. I thought I'd seen it all, but apparently I haven't. Now, when it comes to this kind of scenario, let me just pull up some facts here. Skillopedia puts it as 4 reasons why people insult you, and one of the 4 reasons is insecurity. The next one is jealousy, lack of understanding, and the cultural kind of tendency that teasing is cool. In insecurity, it's quoted, they feel the need to control, and they can only gain the need to control by putting others down. So insecure people will always end up insulting you or make rude comments to you. Say, for example, you have a sibling who is insecure on how she looks. She might end up the texting on here. She might end up, insulting. There's the bad grammar. There was a typo here. So they might end up insulting you about the way you dress or how you get your school grades. They just might insult you. But lack of understanding is another one, which was very interesting. Quoted, so they might make fun of him or her without really understanding how it affects them. So she was insulting. She was probably in the mindset that, it doesn't matter what happens. None of this matters. I just have all this money, or I have all this leeway, or I have all these people supporting me, that no matter what I say to you, it doesn't matter because consequence has never happened to me. The only fault that I feel is the most egregious of people who indulge in this cancel culture crap, and I talked about in the previous podcast how that kind of stuff makes them technically murderers. So if you want to look at that, go into that and look that up. Just if you're on Discord, just scroll up. If you're on YouTube, just go a video back. It is quite interesting how that comes together. I don't like people who do that, and the fact that the father lost his job for not being aware of something that she was doing kind of says to, if it doesn't matter what you say, they'll attack anybody. They'll make up stories. They'll do things, which makes me want to chime out of the internet. But as far as the insults, this was deserved to the girl that she got kicked out. It was not deserved to the man, to the father who had lost his job. Yeah, those are my points of view on that. Because I've had experiences where people just insult me just because of my skin color or something like that. Something I can't control. She can't control that she has cancer. I can't control my skin color. It's not as if it's a bad, like, my skin color isn't a bad thing, but cancer is a bad thing. But you can't control it. So it's like if it's a lose-lose, why are you insulting? Yeah, people are kind of like snowflakes about it sometimes. Honestly, I think they're just kind of wimps. But that's whatever. Since we have shorter people, or fewer people, I'll let you guys give your 2 cents. I'll give you no more than 5 minutes on there. Spaceman C0. So go ahead and give your 2 piece on this kind of situation.
Okay, Wizzy.
I called you Spaceman C0. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
As far as cancel culture goes, my thoughts on that is, The person would have to have done something really, really, really bad. But to go, as you said, they went after the father and the mother. Why?
Why?
Yeah, just
you tell me. I don't even know why.
Okay, yeah, just why fire him? He's the guy that's working, making money. No, don't do that. The wife is doing the same thing, making money, bringing home the dough. Don't just because. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just
okay.
There. I remember reading up something similar to this. A couple of parents got their kids taken away from them for pranking their kids on YouTube.
Oh,
what?
Yeah,
I know.
They were pranking their kids on YouTube, and child services got involved. It was a really mess. Sorry for the language, but yeah. In all.
Okay, I think you've kind of.
I'm trying to gather my thoughts.
Yeah.
Trying to gather my thoughts. In all seriousness, those two parents really didn't need to be pranking their kid as a quote unquote family vlog kind of thing, which I really dislike family vlogs. I really, really don't like family vlogs whatsoever. Take a look at the Truman Show. That is the epitome of a warning of what would happen if you put your kid up on a show for his life. It causes psychological trauma.
Oh.
Yeah, scaring their kid and putting it out on the internet for millions to see. Child services got involved. You're pranking your kids. It's messing them up. They're being laughed at by tons of people. Why would you do this?
Generally,
Yeah,
CPS doesn't really chime in until there's like bodily harm or something. Because dang.
I mean, it's a psychological trauma sort of thing.
Yeah, the thing was with that, I think I know which family on YouTube you're talking about, because I remember seeing the same article. Their content, it wasn't even really pranks. It was borderline mental abuse. And that's why CPS got involved.
Shoot. Well, I'll probably look it up later. It's probably been pretty severe because some people, it's not to diss on parents nowadays, but what some people consider psychological is like called discipline. Now, I don't. If this was a prank, then that's something a little different. So unless someone was pretending that they're dead, that's all I can really think of.
I think that did happen at one point.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
I used to watch that family.
Don't put it on camera. What the flip? Anyway, I got your piece on there.
Calling that kind of content a family vlog. Mm-mm.
Well, I think I see how, just like how you said with the Flash people with SFM, I can see how this correlates somewhat to this. A little off, but I can kind of see how it punches in. For me, it's a little different how I see that scenario. For me, when it comes to cancel stuff, it's all bad. It doesn't matter what degree. It's all don't cancel people. That's why I don't like the fact that this woman got canceled. I don't like the fact that she did. But the point is that who else was going to stop her? Because if the father wasn't aware, then he couldn't interject. But who else was going to make that leap? But the one thing I didn't notice was in this scenario, just like the previous scenarios, there was no police whatsoever. Not a single police report. It drives me nuts. Like, people just like, oh, it's not a citizen's arrest online. It's either police report or nobody. Like, people just think, oh, it's over. But there's levels to. Anyway, I don't want to give my 2 cents on that. Just look at the other podcast for that. Peanut. Won't you give your 2 cents? Remember, no fictitious scenarios, just facts and what you've experienced and statistics when it comes to scenarios with this this whole cancer business. This whole making fun of someone for having cancer. Like, it's a snowflake thing for me. It's just kind of like, why are you upset? Like, grow a thicker skin. Yeah, you have cancer. You can't control it. I have asthma and I can't run too far, otherwise I collapse. Big whoop. I can't go to a marathon. You think I'm gonna call the police on you? I can't control that. Like, that is, if I run more than a mile, that's it. I'm done. Collapse. Well, boo-hoo me. Boo-hoo me. So it's like, if you have cancer, you can get over it. Obviously.
I have epilepsy.
And if you think, please tell me that you're not going to get there and get upset if I say, oh, you have epilepsy, flashing colors. Are you going to get upset? Obviously not, because it's something you can't control it. Obviously, some people have different degrees of stuff, but you just kind of ignore it. Move on. All right? So the whole cancel thing. Anyway, go ahead, Peanut. Go ahead. I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead.
I absolutely hate cancer culture.
Go on.
It's... I don't even know how to describe it. I just hate it so much. It's so dumb. And half the time, it's not even for any decent reason. And that's one of the reasons why I stopped using Twitter. It's because it's just... Yeah, it's just filled with that stuff. Every corner you go, it's just cancel this, cancel that. And it's... Especially with the, like, getting the dad fired. I mean, that... Not even aware. Not even aware. And he gets fired over it. I try to fire him over it. It's just so dumb.
You seem flabbergasted.
I just hate it so much, and I can never express how much I hate it.
It's if someone were to, let's say you did something like you stole a cookie from a cookie jar, and then let's say your cousin, I don't know, was sent off to jail. Like, that's kind of it. It's just like shot in the dark. Yeah. Who can we get in contact with?
Yeah, there's so much crossfire. It's unbelievable.
Right.
It's only a matter of time. I think you said your two piece. It seems like the exasperated.
I can't express how much I hate it, and I'm not good at explaining things.
Okay. Yeah,
it's
it's bad.
It's just so stupid and bad, and yeah, people get mad over the smallest things. And the thing that gets me most, sorry, but
yeah, go ahead.
the thing that gets me most, especially on Twitter, is when evidence comes out, like proving against something that a person did. Like, hey, they didn't actually do this, and this is proof. Everyone who's canceling the person, or at least 50%, ignore it.
Yeah.
And just keep canceling it with no proof otherwise.
Yep.
It's just,
That's the one thing I'm afraid of when it comes to Twitter, because eventually the platform's going to collapse. You know, it's been around for a while.
Yeah.
It won't collapse like MySpace did at all, no. But it'll definitely slow down. What I'm afraid of is those people on that platform, where are they going to go to next? That's what I'm afraid of. Is that if people like that can, and I talked about this in the previous podcast, how people who are canceled only have two options, and it was a study that was put in from 2014 to put into 2019. They have two choices: either go silent or kick the bucket. That's it. They can't get a job. They're not welcomed amongst the homeless. They're not welcomed amongst their family. They're not welcomed amongst their community. They can't do anything else. If they go to a different state, people know who they are. It's like it sticks to them forever. And it's like, wow, what are you supposed to do? Just give up. That's the only thing they can do. So when people cancel, that's why I just tell them that you're all murderers. You're all murderers. And I've seen some people who are in the fandom who did a bunch of canceling. And some of them I followed, I quickly unfollowed them because they were in that whole loop of, oh, you did this? You don't agree to this? Cancel. And I'm, yeah. Just because I disagree, like, it's so stupid. If one person thinks one way and another person thinks this way, it's called being different.
Congratulations, you are a part of the human race.
Anyway. Go ahead.
I just had a fucking blast from the past once you said that you've seen it in the fandom. There was a comic strip that I used to read and
language.
Sorry. Bleep that out. Bleep that out.
I don't think I can keep track. This podcast too long.
But yeah, it was Princess. I just got a kick out of it. And someone didn't really approve of I don't want to say the comic. I just laughed at it. I just laughed at it because it was stupid funny.
It's like a Princess Molestia. That's all I can think of.
That's it. That's the one.
It was the one on Twitter and the woman was like reacting online.
Yeah.
Never heard that one before.
It's like, oh, look, she's eating cake. Congratulations. Oh, wait, I didn't know that wasn't frosting.
That was a great comic. That was a great comic. But then someone came along and said, had to be a Karen.
Oh, it's so bad. Anyway, we're gonna end this. We don't want this too long. We're gonna start out. Well, I already said it in the previous podcast, but I haven't heard it from you guys. Who your favorite horse is and why? So, Spaceman, why don't you go first? Who's your favorite horse? I couldn't even think of one. No, not at all.
Oh man,
doesn't even have to be canon.
Doesn't even have to be canon.
Only until a few months ago did I figure out what canon meant.
Seriously?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
People were just like, it's not canon. I was like, no, they're in the show. What are you talking about? So I didn't understand it, but
yeah, I know it's not canon.
Hey, it took
Otherwise
me
they would have wheels on the side.
What was it? Not even 15. Yeah, it took me 16 years to figure out what in the world strap-on meant. Yeah, wow. I didn't know what it meant. But once I found out, I was like, never tell me anything again. So, but go on.
You're going into dark territory now.
No, go. Who's your favorite horse? Who's your favorite horse?
Can I just pass that one on to Peanut?
Okay,
please?
Peanut.
Pass me on because I don't have one. Because I don't know any. Because I don't watch the show. I'm not a part of the fandom.
Well, the tracker.
Okay. Okay. I'll just go ahead and say Applejack.
Applejack. Okay. Yeah. There we go.
Hey, Jay.
Doom guy from the hit game Doom Eternal.
Wait. What? Anyway. That's it for this flipping podcast. I gotta figure out how the heck I'm gonna. Oh my goodness! Shut up!
I'm strong.
Oh, ow! Okay, just hopefully you enjoyed this podcast. If you did, just I don't know, give it a little thumbs up, and that's it. If you're in Discord and if you're on YouTube, share with people who you think this conversation would benefit. To talk about these kinds of situations. Eventually, I'm gonna stop talking about this stuff because this is
hard.
I know I'm eventually gonna get canceled. I know that because my humor is going to. My humor 10 years ago would have been fine, but now it's like.
Yeah, I got people who hate me too.
But anyway, instead of no Peanut, you're just very destructive. Okay. Anyway, that's it. I'll see all of you Marshmallows in the next podcast. I don't know. I'm out of here. Okay.
See you next time.